Darryl say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. Thank you. We are engaging in this transmission this day of your time to discuss the principles, concepts, ideas that you have just listened to in this particular collective work that you have labeled on your planet, The Secret. We recognize that many of you have listened to this work. Many more will be listening to this work. This, of course, for many of you familiar with us, will contain many ideas and principles that will be familiar to you. Concepts that we have discussed and many other beings have discussed in a variety of ways for many years. Regardless of what might seem to be slight terminological differences, slight variations in presentations, you can sense, if you pay attention, that the principles are identical. The idea here to pay attention to most is that your civilization has arrived in its evolution of consciousness at a place and a time where a compilation like this, where a work like this can be created, has been created, and is spreading among your people. This simply indicates that you now have at your disposal, at your fingertips, a tool that you have created collectively from your collective consciousness that is designed, as we spoke of last night of your time, to function as a very, very strong and general representative permission slip to allow you to give yourselves permission to become more of who you are. In listening to that recording, the idea is to allow yourself to treat it, if you will, as a meditation, and to allow yourself to recognize what is familiar and to lock onto what is not and incorporate those ideas in one overall comprehensive and cohesive arrangement of these concepts that have been being discussed for many years. We congratulate your civilization for having arrived at a place where now this kind of idea can be produced in your society and can be met with resounding reception, for many, many beings find themselves attracted to this. And you have seen this demonstrated on many levels of your media, where this idea is not only talked about in this format, but you are witnessing many other similar formats coming up from many different people who now are also recognizing these ideas are at the core of how to attract, how to create, how to manifest, how to experience the reality you prefer, that you believe is most harmoniously aligned with the being that you prefer to be, with your true natural self. There are no discrepancies between this work and anything we have said. If you feel that there are, this is simply terminological and semantic. We recognize that they may be using slightly different words, but in your soul and in your heart, you know they are saying exactly the same thing we have been saying for 23 orbits of your time. The idea is that when they say, your thoughts will create this, your thoughts will create that, you know what they are saying is, your beliefs are doing this. Just because they use the word thought does not mean the concept is different. Do not make a difference where none exists. This is our first recommendation. When you listen to these ideas, allow yourself to bring to bear what you know to be true, and apply the interpretation necessary to bring the way they are saying it into focus and into alignment with what you know to be true in principle. It doesn't matter that the words may be slightly different. It's the same idea. Identical. Identical. Now, the one thing that is also additionally wonderful about this is that you now have this available to you on a daily basis. And we would suggest that for those of you that may feel that you find it difficult to, quote unquote, maintain a connection with these ideas, we would suggest that you avail yourself of this tool every single time, any single time you feel your focus waning, you feel yourself doubting, you feel yourself creating negativity. You have this now at your disposal in what for you is a technologically convenient form. And here really is the crux of the issue. How interested are you in changing your life? Really? Because again, as was said there, and as we have said for 23 orbits, your behavior, your actions are the key. You have heard in the segment that you just listened to, the individual say, well, here is the secret to the secret. And they then discuss the idea about state of being, that you can simply choose to be happy for its own sake. And you can, we have said this many times, without needing any other reason to do so. But now we would also like to share with you that there is also another secret to the secret. And if you wish, as an addition to what has been said in your recording, I could say then that there is a secret to the secret to the secret. Now, it's not that this was not said over and over and over again by us in the recording and by many other people. But it was said in ways that may not allow you to recognize it for what it is. It was said in general ways. It was said in illustrative ways. It was said in anecdotal ways. But now we are going to tell you very plainly, there is an underlying concept here that many of you may be missing out on because it hasn't been said plainly. Because we understand that because of many of the definitions and belief systems that many of you have been raised with, that some of those definitions may act as a filtering system that will not really allow you to hear clearly what the underlying fundamental concept here is. We know that many of you get it when we say, follow your passion, act on your passion. And when you have heard others say, follow your bliss, act on your excitement, act on your passion, behave as if. We know that you believe you get that much. But at the same time, in many of the discussions we have had with many of you, we also hear the idea of putting your trust in negativity, of doubting yourself, and saying, well, I am doing my best to follow my passion, but it doesn't seem to be working. Well, I'm doing my best to do this. I'm doing my best to do that. Here's the key that we find, in a sense, is lacking from what the energy is that you're attempting to apply when attempting to follow your passion. It's all well and good to recognize that following your passion, when you recognize it, is the thing to do. But what you may not also understand the importance of is that you also, here it is, are you paying attention? The secret to the secret to the secret. Ears open wide. This is going to sound very simple, but it's very important. When you are acting on your passion, you must also be passionate about being passionate, which many of you are not. When you search for your passion, and then you find something, or you recognize the idea of looking around at any given moment for what excites you the most at that moment, and many of you make an attempt, many of you make an application, many of you do an act, there will still be, according to many of your belief systems, those moments when you go back into, when you choose to go back into many of your negative beliefs, many of your negative feelings, many of your negative thoughts, the things you don't prefer. And this is where it is most crucial to remember that you must also be passionate about being passionate in order to really allow your passion to work. And what this simply means is you don't ever give up. You, at any given moment that you feel yourself waning, look around and use your imagination and create for yourself in that moment an action and a behavior that will take you back into your passion. You must, in that sense, exhibit passion in order to create passion. This is how you bootstrap yourself up the vibrational ladder. To put it in another way, you have heard us say, you have heard them say, when you have a vision, when you have a dream, when you have a picture, when you have a visualization, act it out as best as you can. Do all the things as best as you can to allow yourself to create the frequency of the reality you prefer, even if it isn't literally, physically manifesting yet. This is the willingness to be passionate about being passionate, instead of choosing to feel the idea of the inertia tugging at you from the beliefs you don't prefer. The willingness to act differently regardless of the recognition that you have those beliefs. For example, when you see someone who is truly driven, truly passionate about something, about some career, about some reality, about some idea, you literally see that they are hungry for this manifestation. They are driven. They are obsessed with it. The idea is to become obsessed about being obsessed. To do the things themselves for their own sake of creating passion that will then allow you the opportunity to take that and create the vibrational state necessary to attract what you prefer. So, as we said, here's an example. You have now at your disposal, as we said, this tool called The Secret, and many other tools. Doesn't have to be this, but it's readily available to you all in a very convenient form, so it can be this. But as an example, if you are sitting around looking at your life, looking to be passionate about something, and wondering how to be passionate about being passionate, the idea, again, to recognize is that when you see people who truly are passionate, they are driven at every level, at every stage. So, if it's really that important to you, if it's really that important to you, bless you. If it's really that important to you to create the reality you say you prefer, you will do what it takes You will do anything. You will be hungry to create a vibration of passion within you all the time. Which means that if you have any kind of permission slip or tool available to you, you will use it as often as you can. You will inundate yourself with it until there can be no other thought, until there is no other choice. To put it in pragmatic terms, if you find yourself one day feeling that your energy is waning, listen, put on your headphones and listen to the secret again. If the next day you find your energy is waning, put on your headphones and listen to it again. And again, 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 until you get it. Until it sinks in, until it becomes second nature, until it becomes your first thought, until you don't think any other way. Inundate, immerse yourself in all the things that are of that nature, to the exclusion of all other techniques, all other offerings, all other tools. If you're really passionate about something, and passionate about being that passionate, you will do what it takes. You will allow yourself to be completely submerged and obsessed with the very idea of creating the state itself that is representative of the reality you prefer. Now, you don't have to do this. It's up to you. But what we are saying here now, and what we will be repeating throughout this particular transmission, is the recognition that whatever stage, whatever level of frequency, whatever level of commitment, whatever level of drive, whatever level of hunger you decide you choose to have for being passionate is completely what will determine the level of reflection you get, the level of effect you get. So if you say to yourself, I don't have to listen to that again. I already know it. Still not working for me. I'm still not happy. Still not getting the reality vibration. Still not creating the state of being I want. But I don't have to listen to that again. Then that's the state you will remain in. When you remember a time when you became passionate about something, anything, you couldn't get enough of it. Every day, every waking thought, you ate it, you drank it, you breathed it in. You looked for anything that had to do with that thing, to learn more, to feel more, to absorb more, to immerse yourself, surround yourself more with that idea. The idea is that in and of itself, that activity in and of itself of immersing yourself in a passionate state is paramount, is very important to the generation of attracting all the things that are then representative of that passion. So if you're not going to be passionate about being passionate, you are going to remove for yourself a very strong stepping stone, a very strong connective link to attracting the things themselves that are representative of your passion. Does this make sense to you? All right. Now we understand, and we know you understand, that even with this knowledge, there will still be portions of your mind, portions of your physical mind going, oh no, that's just too much. So be it. That's your choice. But we are here to tell you that everything you need to know and everything you have learned from us is being restated in this work, and you have it available to you. Take advantage of it. Immerse yourself. And again, please remember how important it is for many of you to act things out. We know, it's no secret to us, that when we have often suggested to many of you that the way to allow yourself greater opportunity for manifestation, greater ability for manifestation, is to actually go and physically act out the scenario that represents your highest joy. And we know, as we said, it's no secret to us that most of you simply don't. Why not? That's the question. That's the true, honest self-assessment that really needs to be investigated. Why not? Because what that simply means is you're not really that passionate about creating that reality. It's not really that important to you. You're not really consumed by it. You're not really obsessed by it. You're not really immersed by it. Why not? That's the question. Why not? That is the most important question you can ask yourself with regard to what you say is your passion. Why am I not more passionate about my passion? Why am I not willing to do the things that everyone says will work? Why not? And that's where you need to come face to face with your own identity, your own physical mind, your own belief systems, your own definitions, your own issues about what it is that you are allowing to define you as a personality. What it is you are choosing to believe in as a personality. Now, you also heard in that recording an idea that we began to discuss last night of your time, and this is the idea of what the job of your physical personality mind actually is and what it isn't. Many of you have been taught to believe that your physical mind is in charge, that it's supposed to control everything and figure out how everything is supposed to happen in order for everything to work. But you heard in the recording, and you heard us say last night of your time, that this is not your job description. Your physical mind is not designed to understand how things happen. It is only designed to perceive how things happened. It is not designed to perceive how things will happen. It is only designed to perceive how things happened. The higher self, that level just above physical reality that is also part of your personal being, is the level of your being that has the ability to understand how things happen. And that's why you heard us say, and the secret say, you don't have to worry, you don't have to focus on how something will come about. There is no way for you to know. It's not within the capacity of your physical mind to know that. It's only within the capacity of your physical mind to see how it did occur, but not how it will occur. The knowledge of how it will occur comes from your higher self, not from your physical mind. As we said last night of your time, again, pay attention, very crucial. The higher self conceives. The physical brain receives. The physical personality mind perceives. The physical personality mind does not conceive of anything. The physical mind is not capable of generating an idea. Not one. Not one. Any idea you have ever had has never come from your physical mind. Not one. It can only perceive the result of the idea that was received by the brain from the conception of the higher self. Beginning to understand this relationship will allow you to begin to have a better relationship and an open line of communication with the higher self, and will allow you as physical minds to allow the you that is the higher self to do its job, while the physical mind goes about doing the job it was designed to do, which is to simply focus you in physical reality so that you can perceive and experience the result of what you conceived from the higher self to be representative of your natural truth and joy. So, this knowledge and this understanding and this relationship can allow you to relax and not feel like you have to do so much. It's not your responsibility in that sense as a physical mind to generate these things and figure out how it's all going to happen. As we said last night of your time, we recognize that the physical mind, if it is taught to think it's in charge, can get caught up in the idea of attempting to repeat how something did occur, thinking that what it is perceiving is actually how the next thing needs to occur, when in fact it's not. The idea of attempting to do that will only cause a repetitive cycle, a repetitive loop, that will simply allow you to remain stuck in one particular manifestational level, and it won't advance until you allow yourself to make the leap and let go of how you think it needs to happen and let the higher self show you how it can happen. And then let your physical mind simply perceive how it did happen. So you don't need to carry those bags. You don't need to carry that luggage. It's too heavy. You weren't designed to carry it. If you keep carrying it, you will be exhausted very quickly. You will start dragging. You will say, life is a drag. This doesn't work. I'm not having any fun. Why not? Because you're doing too many jobs. You're not doing the job you were designed to do. Only you're also attempting to do the job of the higher self. The higher self is the you that is on the mountaintop, that has the big picture, that has the far view, that can look down at the physical mind in the valley and say, the road is this way. I'm telling you, turn left. I know you think you're supposed to turn right because you think you're in charge, but I'm telling you, turn left. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. You don't have to know how turning left is going to get you to where you want to go. I can see that it is because I'm on the mountaintop. You don't need to know. All you need to do is what? Trust me that I'm telling you the truth. Why would I do anything different? I'm you. When you understand that your higher self is truly an aspect of you, maybe you will be willing to start listening instead of thinking, because your physical mind has been taught to think it's in charge and thus doesn't trust anyone else's 2 cents. Instead of thinking that your higher self is trying to deceive you, trying to trick you. Can't listen to that guy, that gal. What does he know? What does she know about being down here in the valley? A lot. Because you are also it. And it is also you. What we are simply saying is this is the complete person. Higher self, receiver brain, physical mind, this is the complete persona. And when you compartmentalize yourself, you are not functioning literally, not functioning as a complete person. You are shunting responsibility and the load of the job to only one portion of your personality, only one portion of your persona, the physical mind, and expecting it to take up the slack, which it is not designed to do. You're putting too much weight on it, too much emphasis on it, and it's going to wear the physical you down. To the point where it won't matter what the higher self says about taking this road or that road, you'll just be too exhausted to move. Just can't do it, sorry. The idea is that when you allow yourself to let the higher self pick up that slack by doing the job it was designed to do, your load will be lightened. You will be energized. You will be enlightened. You will feel freer. You will feel like you have more energy than you ever imagined possible. You will be able to move in the direction the higher self is suggesting, because you will then not be weighed down by things that you don't have any business carrying with you. And it will make you feel free, and you can run down the road, and that means as soon as you give up the job that isn't yours, things will accelerate. If you think you need to lug all this luggage down the road, it's going to be slow going. When you drop what isn't yours, things will speed up because now you're not carrying extra weight. Things will accelerate. The paradox here is that because the physical mind has been taught to think it's in charge and has to figure out how everything is going to happen, it actually slows things down, even in the face of wanting things to speed up. It's doing exactly the opposite of what it actually really wants to have happen by taking on too much weight. So by letting that go and allowing yourself to function as the whole being, and trusting the how to the higher self and not thinking about it, not worrying about it in the physical mind as to how you're going to get where you know you want to be, then you will allow there to be balance on all levels of your being. Things will flow in that positive direction representative of your natural self because you will be behaving as your true, interconnected, holistic, natural self. This, when people talk about the idea of letting go, when they talk about the idea of surrender, this is what they're talking about. Simply surrender to being who you actually are instead of who you've been taught to think you're supposed to be. This is what you are now realizing in this new age of transformation on your planet. That you're not alone. That the compartmentalized you that you heretofore thought was the totality of your being is in fact nothing but a small piece. And that you actually have other portions of yourself that you could be using, that you could be allowing to carry some of the load with you, but which you have refused to believe can happen because of the way your personality mind, your physical mind has been taught to think about what it's supposed to do, about what its responsibilities actually are. And thus then, once the physical mind has taken on this much weight, has taken on this much more job than it was designed to do, and it feels tired, and it feels stressed, and it feels weighed down, what's the next step after that? Victimization, resentment. It starts dissolving and devolving and breaking down because it cannot carry the load. And once it starts breaking down thinking this is supposed to be working and it's not, it now feels betrayal from the universe. The universe isn't supporting me, it's not working for me. No, you're not working for you. You're not working for you because you're working too hard for you. Lighten up on yourself. The universe does not expect you to have to struggle. It does not expect you to have to, in any way, shape, or form, suffer. Challenges, yes, but those are exciting. Activity, yes, but that's exciting. Struggle, suffer, no. There is no expectation on behalf of the universe that you should have to struggle and suffer to be yourself. All the struggling, all the suffering, all the doubt, all the fear comes from the misunderstanding of who you are, and thus resisting your natural self because you're afraid to give up that control from the physical mind to the greater self for which it was designed. And when you thus then don't do that and take it all on yourself and start slogging down the road, very heavy under the burden of things you have no business carrying, comes the victimization, the sense of fear, the sense of betrayal, the sense of being alone, the sense of being cut off, the sense of being disconnected, the resentment, the hate, self-loathing, lack of deservability. All these issues stem from not allowing your full self to carry the load. All of it. Bless you. There are, as we said, now many more different, shall we say, permission slips being created by many different people with regard to ideas such as abundance and living your passion and so on and so forth. They are all saying the same thing. Choose whichever one seems to work best for you. But when you make a choice as to what permission slip is most reflective and most representative of what you believe works best for you, then take that information and inundate and immerse yourself in it to the point where you are truly exhibiting a passion for being passionate. And thus then you will find that you will infuse yourself when you give up the weight that doesn't belong to you and you infuse yourself with a passion for being passionate. The levels of synchronicity will explode in your life to such a degree that you will find staggering, miraculous, enlightening, uplifting, levitating. You will be flying in many different ways, accelerating, opening up, feeling the love that has always been there unconditionally for you.
All right, let's say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. Thank you. I have a question for all of you. Do you have a soul? Yes. No. What does he mean by that? Of course we have souls. No. You don't have a soul. You are a soul. So, this perspective can change a lot of things in the way that you experience physical reality because you're creating it. It's a projection of your consciousness. And here, fundamentally, is how you do this. Now imagine, if you will, that you are a soul, an orb of light. So picture this in your mind. You are this sphere, this orb of light. And within it, there are ripples of energy, patterns of energy. Just like dropping a pebble into the pond creates ripples. Imagine ripples in every direction inside this orb of energy, this orb of light. When a soul decides to have a physical experience, this is what happens. These ripples that all are happening inside this sphere of light, this sphere of energy, this sphere of consciousness, all these ripples represent different aspects, different qualities, different attributes of the soul. So when a soul decides to experience a theme in physical terms, some of those ripples, some of those attributes are focused on, and they condense down and down and down in a focus to the center of the orb of light. Now, that doesn't mean the orb disappears. It is still there. Only some of the aspects of it have condensed down into this tiny, small bit at the center. You might call it a seed, a hard kernel, like a subatomic particle. And that small crystallized seed at the center of that orb of light is your physical mind. That is how the soul creates its experience of physical reality. It creates a focus, it creates a dream experience within the center of its being, taking some of the qualities, some of the attributes, some of the aspects of its total self, crystallizing them, focusing down into that little center seed, that little center crystal. And that center crystal contains those attributes that represent the theme that being will explore as a physical being in that physical dream at the center of the soul. So when that life is over, the soul doesn't leave the body, the crystal seed starts to expand again, starts to open up again, starts to soften, and starts to merge back with and into itself as the soul. So that is what death is simply the awakening from the dream state, from the little crystallized seed at the center of the soul. And the idea of the expansion of consciousness overall is what begins that process of opening up. It doesn't mean that just expanding your consciousness means you have to die physically, but the idea is that you open up and you are a little bit like a small open sphere inside the bigger sphere. Not so concentrated, not so crystallized, not so hard, not so focused, so that you have the ability to tap into the vibration of the soul more readily, more easily. And this becomes the relationship between your physical mind and your higher mind, which is the soul, which is that portion of you that is still the sphere of light, the sphere of consciousness, the sphere of energy. That is the higher mind according to the physical kernel at the center, the physical seed. So by allowing yourself to expand a little bit, it's easier for you to, by raising your vibration, expanding that seed in the center, tap into the communication, the ripples, the information that is always coming to you from the rest of your being, the rest of you as a soul, as a sphere of consciousness, a sphere of light. By opening up a little bit, you then contain the ability within that seed, within the center of that seed, to harbor some of the vibrational frequencies of information that come to you, the messages that come to you from your soul, from the higher mind. So the idea then is that comes in an energy language, as we have said. And that energy language, that energy message from your soul self to the little seed that is more expanded, is translated by that little seed in the center, that little physical mind being in the center, as the sensation called passion, curiosity, love, creativity. And that is when you receive the message from the soul self that whatever contains that passion, whatever contains that excitement, that curiosity, that attraction, that is who you really are. That is your core frequency. That is your core theme. That is your core creativity. It is the next step on your path. And that's why it's so important to act on that passion. Because action, as the little seed, is the language of the physical reality dream. Not words, not thoughts, but actions, physical actions. Let the soul know that there is an echo from the crystal. There is a reaction, a response from the crystal that it heard the message from the soul self and is willing to act on it, willing to be guided by it, willing in that sense to move forward in that way, which then allows the soul to respond to that echo, and then you create that back and forth dialogue between the soul sphere and the crystal seed that is you as a physical mind, as a physical being. Does this make sense? Yes. So again, focusing on yourself as a physical being, saying, I, as a physical human, have a soul, is very different than understanding that you are a soul that is simply having a human experience, that is having a human dream, a physical reality dream. So the idea is to allow yourself to really start opening up and remembering that you never leave spirit. Spirit is your natural state. You haven't left it. Most of you is there right now. All of you is there right now. But you have this little crystalline seed portion of your greater self that is pretending, that is dreaming that it's no longer in spirit. That is what physical reality is. And when you start looking at it from that direction, you start really tapping into your innate self-empowerment, your true nature, your true core essential vibration. And many more things can happen that are more representative of alignment between your physical mind and your higher mind, so that you can really understand you are not a human being physically that has a soul. You do not have a body, and inside the body is your soul. You are a soul, and inside your soul is your body. That's the difference. So, you are a soul, you don't have a soul, you are the soul. We thank you for allowing us to share this perspective with you this day of your time. In return for the gift that you are giving us in allowing us to serve you in this way and share this knowledge, we ask, how may we continue to be of service to you? You may begin with your dialogues and questions.
Aveo Bashar.
Aveo.
I'm a conscious channel. I would like to become a, what is it called? When it's complete in the body?
No. Being a conscious channel is the evolutionary direction.
Okay.
It went from people being unconscious to being more conscious because you're becoming equal and your version of that which you are channeling. You have to understand that the channel before you is not unconscious, he's just conscious in a different way. But a long time ago, channels used to be unconscious because they couldn't understand how they were equal to what they were bringing through. So becoming more conscious is the idea, is the evolutionary path.
What I meant is that I'd like to become a what's it called? Trans channel.
But that's a step backwards.
It is?
Yes, that's what I'm attempting to tell you. Becoming more conscious of what you're bringing through is the evolutionary path forward. Becoming equal to it so that you can just say, oh, I'm getting this now and I'm telling you what I'm getting.
Okay.
Instead of having to get out of the way so much. Because you're becoming more equal to receiving that information, more equal to that vibration. Therefore, you don't have to get out of the way. Now, if you really prefer to get out of the way a little bit, that's fine, but you have to understand what you are experiencing right now with the channel before you is not technically trance channeling. The channel is not in a trance. The channel is in an altered state called gamma. In the brain, it's between 40 and 100 cycles per second. It's a state of higher frequency connection and processing. It's not technically a trance. It's a state of higher association. So you can do many things to get into gamma, and this is again why we encourage all of you to act on your passion. Because when you are doing what you love to do, when you are, as you say in your language, in the zone, you go into gamma. You go into the channeling state naturally when you're doing what you love to do and no longer paying attention to the passage of time. You look up and you think, oh, it's been 3 hours. It only felt like 15 minutes to me. That meant you were in a channeling state. And by the way, when it only feels like 15 minutes has passed, you've only aged 15 minutes.
So when I am doing this channeling, it's always very positive experience with positive beings, but when I'm sleeping, I seem to go to very negative planets filled with manipulation.
Well,
and then I had one.
You're working things out. Would you rather work them out in physical reality?
No. I think I'm doing that too, actually.
All right, well then, thank you for working them out in the dream state.
I didn't get my question yet.
Go ahead.
My question is, I had one of these negative experiences that felt negative was I was sleeping in the back of my truck and this energy started vibrating my entire truck and I couldn't sit up, I couldn't get up, and it felt really scary to me.
Sounds exciting.
Was that an ET coming to see me, or
yes,
what was it?
But that's not uncommon for one dimension interacting with another dimension to cause those kinds of frequency vibrations to happen. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Okay.
It's just a natural result of two dimensions intersecting.
Okay, that's what I was hoping for.
All right, well then it's not negative. Don't define it that way.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You are welcome. Pleasant dreams.
Hi, Bashar.
Hi to you, good day.
I wanted to say thank you to you for your teachings, and also thank you to everybody that's working really hard to hold space for you and your teachings for all of us.
All right.
I wanted to know, when I was a teenager, I saw a spaceship. It's a funny story I tell everybody. Was that real? And
what did it look like?
It was diamond shaped with 4 blue lights.
Yes.
And did that am I still working with them? Like,
For your entire life, yes.
I know. Can you give me anything like? Can you give me something like a little nugget? Like, who are they? Should I just let it go, or?
You are again part of the hybridization program. There may be other beings on those ships from time to time, but mostly you're interacting with hybrids.
Okay.
The idea again, I apologize,
I do too.
follow the formula. Because again, it will reveal what you need to know in perfect timing. Don't worry about who that was. You will find out if you need to find out. Right now, it's just about moving forward with the idea of the energy that that encounter represented to you.
Okay.
Putting you in the state that represents a higher frequency.
Okay.
Because anytime you think about that encounter, how do you feel?
Awesome.
There you go. Stay awesome.
Thank you.
Stay in the encounter frequency.
Okay.
And come from that frequency in everything that you do in life.
Thank
Yes?
you. Yes, I love you so much. Thank you.
Oh, I love you so much too.
Hi, Bashar.
Good day.
It's an honor to be here with you.
It is an honor for us as well.
I'll make my question quick because I know. So my question is, I had an interaction with my guides telepathically like 8 years ago, multiple times in a couple months.
Yes.
And then almost 3 years to the day today, they kind of ambushed me at my apartment and they terrified me. And they were there for like 6 hours and cats and then it took me like 2 weeks to get over the fear.
Yes.
And
Why were
now-
you afraid?
Well, I had a panther show up at my apartment window. It was
You had a what?
like a panther or the image of a panther and a house cat
But
and a
don't
lion.
you understand that as a reflection of your own inner power?
Well, I didn't.
Do you now?
More so, yes.
Oh, how do you feel about it now?
Well, now I'm thrilled. The fear's gone, but where'd they go? Now that I'm brave enough to have a conversation,
Would it scare you to know that they're still right here?
not at all.
All right.
I'm past the fear.
So accept your self-empowerment, accept your own power, and understand that the symbol of the cat is something that can see into other dimensions.
Oh, fantastic. I don't have a crush on you, but I do love you. Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Good day. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my love Natalia up there for encouraging me to raise my hand. I did not expect this. This is really awesome. So my
Oh,
first
all right.
question, or my question would be the difference between free will and is your path laid out before you're here?
Yes, the free will of your spirit, in a sense, arranges certain things. You could call that destiny, but it's just about being you. You are the destiny. In other words, everything that you experience, even with your free will, you're going to experience as this person, this personality, this idea, this path, this unique perspective. So it's a combination of the idea of free will of the spirit, then the free will of the physical being has to go down that hallway because you can't be anything other than what you are, who you are, and so that can feel like a destiny, but you don't think of it that way. You just think of it as, this is who I am. This is me. And so you have free will to be you in whatever way, shape, or form you so desire. You can think of it like a hallway. The hallway is you. You can go down that hallway happy, sad, backwards, forwards, crawling, walking, running, flying, jumping, leaping, look in every door along the way, ignore them all. But you will walk down that hallway because that hallway is you. And you can't do anything but be you. So that's the destiny, is the creation from that sphere of energy we talked about initially, crystallizing down into that seed, that crystalline seed, filled with those particular attributes from the greater sphere that represent the theme that you're exploring, which is usually presented by whatever challenges you face in this life, on this path. So it's a combination of what feels like destiny and free will, but it's still about the free will of the spirit deciding that this is what it wants to experience as a theme. But as the theme, as the experiencer, you have the free will to experience that however you wish. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
You are
And
welcome.
then one more thing. Based off of the dream I had or encounter with these beings, they're humanoid, shape-shifting, piercing green eyes. Does that sound familiar to you?
Can't help you there.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Good day. I'm here with my mother and...
Hi, Mom.
Oh, she has a crush on you too!
I am starting to feel flatter and flatter.
Please don't. So, I have always felt in my heart that I have a big mission to help humanity, to
All right.
help.
How are you doing that?
Okay, so I'm a trauma-informed breathwork facilitator, and I do mindset coaching.
All right.
But I am.
But is that representative of your passion, yes or no?
Yes,
Then why is there a but?
because I feel like I'm not seeing any results in my physical reality, really.
What kind of results are you expecting to see?
Monetary compensation?
Ah, that old thing.
Yeah.
Are you allowing yourself to act on your passion for its own sake instead of what you think your passion will get you?
Yes, because I find I am in my most joy when I am of service, when I am teaching and
when
sharing.
you are doing that, does the flow bring you what you need to continue? Or are you closing the doors through which other forms of abundance could come other than or in addition to money, which we understand is one of the symbols you have of exchange and abundance on your planet, but it's not the only one. And if you focus on that being the only thing that will allow you to move forward, then you are not allowing the other forms of abundance to come to you as easily as they could to join that symbol. Because sometimes it might require a little bit of money. Sometimes someone might give you a gift. Sometimes you might have something to trade. Sometimes synchronicity will bring you something. Sometimes your imagination will think of something to do in a different way that would make it unnecessary for you to need as much money or something else that you thought you needed. Communication is a form of abundance, and you could say something that will change everything and turn it around to make it easy for you to move forward on your passion. So you have to allow all the forms of abundance to be equal to one another and work together to give you the 100% abundance that you need to continue to move forward on your passion. So are you doing that or not?
I feel like I am.
Then there's no but.
Okay.
Because why are you focused on the idea of money? I'm just repeating what you said to us.
Right. Because I feel like I need more of it because I love giving it and sharing it. I give so much of what I have. And
Do you give too much?
Perhaps.
Why do you give too much?
Because I'm so empathetic and...
You are so pathetic?
Empathetic. I empathize with people who are in need.
Empathizing with people doesn't mean you sacrifice yourself. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because if you sacrifice yourself, then you're not there to help others. Do you understand?
Yes.
Being yourself is how you help others, but you have to love yourself equally and cherish yourself equally and give yourself what you need to be the whole person that can then help others by giving them your gifts. But you don't overgive, you don't sacrifice, otherwise you whittle yourself away and then there's nothing left of you to give. And then everyone else is deprived of your gifts. There has to be a balance. There has to be a fair exchange. Yes?
Yes. How can I connect higher to my higher self?
You do remember the formula, right?
I do. It's following my joy.
That's your answer.
Yes, okay.
Understand all the points precisely, and you will have your answer.
Thank you so much. I love you.
We just have time for one more quick question.
Good evening, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I was wondering a deeper pursuit of your idea of the formula. And
A deeper pursuit
yes, I thought.
of something that is complete.
Yes, would you consider an idea?
So you want it to be more complete?
Perhaps.
Or do you mean you just need a clearer explanation of some of the principles?
From your point of view, would be most valuable and cherished. My idea of
Is
the
there
form-
something specific
Yes.
about the formula that you would like us to illuminate?
Yes, I have an idea about it. Inspired action in appreciation always,
Yes.
in all ways.
Yes, yes.
Yes. What your thoughts?
Well, yes, you have to act from the idea of appreciation and gratitude for what you have. That's what prayer is. It's a present state of appreciation for what you have, what you are. It's not asking for something else. So it's a state of grace. It's a state of gratitude, a state of appreciation. So as you are in service to others by acting on your passion, you are in a state of appreciation. And then that's part of the vibration of your passion. Does that illuminate it, or is there something else you wanted to discuss? You are welcome.
I live in the East Bay, and I was listening to the trains in the distance, and I had this insight that I was just far enough away that I thought the sound was very beautiful.
Yes.
But I used to work a little bit at Jack London Square, and when I would be right by it and the horns would blow, it would disturb me. It was so loud I couldn't have peace.
Yes.
Well, I couldn't. Anyway, and I thought that I got the idea that life is like where you're standing, that gives you the perspective.
Yes.
And sometimes when you talked before about it's all about the journey.
Yes.
In some places I can see like where I'm at is like right next to the train, not feeling very at peace. But
Yes.
then I see the perspective like being like up in the hills, and I can see it, and I can
Yes.
see the beauty of the lessons I'm learning.
Yes. One of
And-
which is obviously be where you rather would be.
Right, right. Do you have any advice about how, if I'm in like the area of the right next to the train where it's a little bit chaotic, to be in that place, but also to have a far enough back perspective to realize that enjoying the unfolding of the lessons?
Yes, but I just gave you the advice. In other words, the lesson may be, don't be so close to the train, if that's not what you prefer. It might simply be that you attract things sometimes in your lives that you don't prefer to make it clearer by comparison what you do prefer. And that may be the only lesson sometimes. It can be that simple.
What if you're not sure about how to get some distance from that train or that situation?
You don't know how to walk away?
I guess.
You guess?
Yeah. I guess I choose not to walk away.
Because, and here come the belief systems, yes?
Correct.
See how we always go back to that?
Yes.
That's how. You examine the beliefs that prevent you from doing what you say you would prefer to do. Because if you're not doing what you prefer to do, that can only mean you have beliefs that make what you're doing seem to be better than the alternative that you know would actually be better for you. So you have to find out what that belief is that could make something you don't prefer seem so much like something you would rather do than what you actually say you would rather do. That can only be because you have a belief that's making it look better than the alternative.
Okay.
So find out what that belief is and let it go.
Okay.
And you'll have learned the lesson.
Thank you, Bashar.
Does that help?
Yes. Good day.
Good day. This is what we call the motivational mechanism. You all have the same motivational mechanism. You will always, 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 without fail, move in the direction of what you believe to be to your benefit. You will always, 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 without fail, move away from what you believe is not to your benefit. So if you understand that mechanism, then if you're doing something you know is not to your benefit, the only reason you would do that is you must have a belief that makes it appear to be more beneficial than the alternative. Find out what that belief is and let it go. You'll flip it around and start moving in the direction of what you know you actually do prefer that is to your benefit. It's that simple. Yes?
Good day, Bashar.
And good day to you.
So I was attached to the outcome of talking to you before lunch, so to bypass that, I want to ask you this.
Yes.
Could you scan my energy from 2 hours ago and let me know if I'm vibrationally ready to adopt a breatharian lifestyle where I'm nourished more by energy than by food?
No.
Thank you.
You're getting there, but no. Not yet.
Thank you. I didn't think so. One of the things, well, well, to help me along my way.
Yes.
Today, when we went to lunch, was the first time I ate solid food since last Saturday.
All right.
The hunger wasn't the issue. It's the emotional journey that I had during, which I see as the problem. Do you see?
What's the emotional journey that's a problem?
Where I felt anxiety that I couldn't do this or I shouldn't do this.
You mean eat?
Well, eating wasn't the problem. Yeah.
What is it you're referring to specifically?
I was doing the water fast, and I was doing the first 2 days. I felt dizzy and felt I should stop. But then after the third and fourth day, everything returned back to normal.
Yes.
And I felt I could keep going.
It sometimes takes a while for your body to adjust to something like that, yes.
Okay. Is there anything that I should do that you would recommend to...
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
Why do you believe you need to do this?
Oh, it's not that I need to do it. It's for, along with following my passion, it gives me more time to pursue my passion.
Which is what?
In creating art, creating music, and creating dance.
So you believe that taking time to eat prevents you from expressing your art?
It does. Yes, it does, especially for computer graphics, since I'm in there. When I'm creating on the computer, it's like I'm in my zone, so I don't like to be interrupted. And 8 hours doesn't feel like 8 hours, it can feel like an hour.
All right, we understand, but then at the end of that 8 hours that feels like an hour, which by the way means you've only aged an hour, you understand?
Yes.
Then does it not seem that timing has arrived for you to do something else or nourish yourself or what have you?
Well, sometimes I forget about it. I forget about needing to eat.
Well, do you feel like you actually need to eat at those moments?
No.
All right, well then don't. Are there times that come up that feel like you need to eat?
Sure.
Well, then eat at those times.
Okay.
Is this really that complicated?
Well,
it's following your natural biological cycle. That's all. Act on your passion. Let the organizing principle of synchronicity continue to inform you of what you need to do next, so that when you are tired, you will be sleepy and go to sleep. When you are hungry, you will eat. If you're not hungry, don't eat. If you're not sleepy, don't sleep. Follow the natural biological rhythm that synchronicity provides for you, as long as you make sure you're not forcing yourself to do that through some idea that you're supposed to, or some idea that you're missing out on something, or that it's an interruption in your flow of creativity. Just let synchronicity show you when those things will actually be beneficial to allow you to continue your flow of creativity instead of looking at them as an interruption in it.
Okay.
Then they'll come in a more natural way. Yes?
Thank you. Yes. So go along with the previous question.
Yes.
And even why I'm questioning you.
Yes.
And it's so are you saying I shouldn't look for an external validation of what I'm doing rather than look towards myself? Okay.
Allow yourself to act on your passion and let synchronicity guide you and show you what you need to do when you need to do it, and don't ignore it.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
Does that help?
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
And it's funny. It's like the answers I already know, and
I know.
and I need your, and I don't.
I'm not telling any of you anything you don't know. I'm just reminding you of what you've forgotten.
Okay.
That's all. Yes?
And I had another question about virtual reality, and if you're familiar with that technology as
Yes.
it is. Okay.
Very much more so than you are.
Very good. I'd like to hear all about it. What I'm doing in Follow My Passion is going fully into virtual reality and virtual reality development.
Yes.
What I want to do is make an impact for children who are can use it as an educational and
Yes.
entertainment tool. Can
Yes.
you give me an example of how to use this technology to increase
You
empathy?
can create through your virtual reality a safe space for them to explore certain actions and in a safe space understand the consequences of the choices they're making without actual harm to them. So you can teach them to learn to be independent, self-reliant, connected to their own self-empowerment by training them in a virtual reality where the outcome actually doesn't have any real physical detriments to their real physical lives, but teaches them this does this choice leads to that, think about this, consider this, and then you will make them well-educated beings who understand the consequences of choices.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very helpful. And it's more like I'm looking into the mirror and hearing myself say the same things.
That's exactly what it's like, because as I remind all of you from time to time, when you're talking to us, you're actually having a conversation with your own higher minds. You're just using us as a mask to have an excuse to do so. And we're happy to participate. But you are talking to yourselves in this conversation.
Thank you, Bashar.
You're welcome. Yes, we are very tricky.
Hi, Bashar.
And you good day.
I listened to Darryl in an interview with Jimmy Church.
Yes.
And Jimmy Church asked Darryl if anyone had asked about Göbekli Tepe.
Yes.
And nobody said, he said no. So I want to ask that question.
Yes.
But let me comment on that first.
By all means.
When I was thinking about this question last night, I was like, okay, if I get picked, I'm going to ask this question. I saw myself at Göbekli Tepe, which I didn't think I had a simultaneous life there.
Well, you may have created it in that instant.
Okay, if I did. Okay. And there was no moon, and I saw a meteor come and strike, and that's why it's gone. And I don't know if I made that up because I have a really bizarre imagination.
It's a little bit of a combination of different things.
Okay.
You're actually consolidating in one small time frame things that happened over larger spans of time. So it's a center of learning, or was in your language, a center for the training of certain ideas, and also a representation of ancient knowledge in symbolic form that was designed to be preserved for later generations, because it was already understood that cyclical cataclysms like cometary impacts, meteoric bombardments do happen on your planet from time to time, and it was an attempt to preserve that knowledge for later generations that would dig it up. It was deliberately buried. You understand? Mm-hmm. So as to protect it from the cyclic cataclysms that do happen on your planet from time to time.
So who deliberately, did the civilization that was there deliberately bury it?
Yes, that's what we're saying.
Okay.
It was a training center up to a certain point that allowed for the reaching out of the consciousness into higher esoteric realms to gather knowledge and information. And one of the pieces of information that they gathered was the existence of these cyclic catastrophes. So they said, well, at a certain point coming up, we need to preserve this, so we will bury it so that future generations will not lose this knowledge.
Does that civilization still exist in our current timeline, or are they all gone? The people who...
They have all been absorbed into other cultures at this point.
Okay. Okay, next topic. I know you don't answer health questions anymore.
But you're going to ask it anyway?
Well, I've been taking this product called Carbon C60.
Yes.
Not like every day or anything, but I think have seen some results from it.
All right, well, good for you.
So I wanted, is that a permission slip, or is it something?
All tools all rituals, all techniques, all objects are permission slips. Did I leave anything out?
No. But does it have like some...
You infuse your physical reality with certain effects because that's the rules of the game you're playing. There will be such a thing as a chemical effect. There will be such a thing as an atomic level effect. There will be such a thing as a neurological effect. Your rules of playing the game have some automatic functions so you don't have to think about them. So you've embedded automatic functions that you call chemistry and physics and other similar ideas into the matrix of the space-time fabric so that you will simply experience the consequence of a choice you make in any particular permission slip direction.
But does it actually have some chemical, or is it...
What did I just say?
Okay, I get it. Okay, last question.
You create the idea that these things have chemical effects.
So does that mean, like, sometimes things work for some people and they don't?
Correct.
Okay, because that's not an appropriate permission slip for them.
Correct.
Okay.
See, now you're getting it.
Okay.
And that's why also people who have learned the skill and arrived at levels that you sometimes call things like shamans and so on and so forth, can actually ingest certain things that might have a lethal chemical effect on most people, and they feel nothing because they understand it's just an illusion and that they can change the space-time rules for themselves. They have learned to make time and space more malleable, more flexible, because they understand it's not really real.
Okay.
That's why that works, is because it's just an agreement that you've all made to produce an effect to make physical reality seem more real.
All right.
It reinforces the idea because you don't have to think about it. It functions on automatic. Yes?
Yes.
It's like stepping onto an escalator in your society. You don't have to do anything but stand there for it to take you up to the next floor. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to walk. You just rise to the next level because you've all agreed that's what an escalator does. So you've all agreed that there are such a thing as chemical effects. Most of you, anyway.
Okay. And my last question is, you've talked about that there's parallel tracks.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think there was discoveries about certain worlds, so it's not just 1 or 2 parallel tracks.
Oh, no.
There might be maybe 7 to 9.
Oh, there might be many, many more. But you may only experience a finite amount of them that are relevant for your experience at this time. That doesn't mean there aren't others that you will experience later.
Okay.
Yes?
So my question was,
Yes.
I have star babies, and...
You're talking about hybrid children?
Yes.
All right.
3 more just came yesterday while I was in the kitchen. But in all of the parallel tracks,
yes.
I've been told by them that they will stay with me, but in all the different...
We do not understand what that means. What will stay with you?
The children.
In all parallel tracks?
That's what I'm asking. Do they...
No.
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 So if I get off on the wrong track, do I lose them?
You can go back to the other track, or at least something similar, if you understand that you have stepped off the track that you prefer to be on.
So I guess my question is, can similar, like, is there a Bashar in different parallel tracks?
Absolutely.
Okay. And
I am also beside myself many times.
So but each of the parallel tracks are going to be almost diametrically opposed, where you can't jump from one to the other at some point, right?
At some point, for certain tracks, and in other tracks, that's not the case.
Oh, that's a nuance then.
It is a nuance.
Because
yes.
A couple years ago, you said, I think the thing about the tracks and you couldn't jump.
Yes, but
so
I was talking about the tracks you were on at the time.
So now we have more tracks, so they weren't.
Yes.
We can jump again.
Because as you expand, you gain more ability to jump farther from track to track.
So is there different versions of you on the positive track saying different things?
Somewhat. Whatever's relevant for those tracks, yes.
Wow. So that I came up with that a few months ago. I'm like, but that doesn't make any sense.
Sure it does.
If the tracks are diametrically opposed, but now you...
I didn't say they were diametrically opposed.
Well, 2 years ago they were, and now we have a nuance that now you can jump...
No. You misunderstood what we said. We simply said they might be diverging from one another. We didn't say they were diametrically opposed necessarily. There may be some that are, and on those, we won't have a representation.
So as long as... Well, I'm going to just assume I'm always on the right track. I can't...
Are we talking?
Yes.
Then you're on a track where we exist in a way like this.
Yeah, and I can feel that...
Otherwise, you wouldn't be here.
The kids are going to land, and I'm going to see them, and I'm really excited about that.
No insistence.
No insistence.
No insistence.
Okay.
Insistence is resistance. So to insist limits you in ways you don't prefer to be limited. Insistence is resistance. Don't slow everything down by insisting on speeding things up. Stay in the present, and it will accelerate beyond your imagination.
Okay.
Because now is where everything happens. Nothing ever happens then.
Like, you're talking then.
It all happens now.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
Make sense?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I just want to tell you, Bashar, and how grateful I am for you and Darryl, and I love you very, very much.
Our unconditional love to you and all of you, as always, and in all ways.
Thank you. Yes, ever since I was very young, I know I've been awakened to a lot of things that are being said today.
Yes.
But, and I've gone through so many experiences of that I never understood, or no one understood me, and I had no one to go to.
Until now.
Until now. It's a little late, I think.
No. No.
But
perfect timing.
I have done almost every experience that I read about or I hear someone did, and I would like to know why, since I was a child, I had the people that I loved surrounding me brought a lot of pain because they didn't understand me. And as I grew up, I only had pain because of the way I was.
And yet, it propelled you in this direction, didn't it? Because it gave you such a strong indication of what you didn't prefer, you had no choice but go in the direction of what you did prefer.
Yes.
So they did you the service of squeezing you.
Yes.
Until you shot out in the direction that served you.
That's right.
I know. That's why I said it.
Thank you.
Therefore, no need to look at that in a painful way now.
Yeah, I don't see it in a painful way. What I feel now is my heart beating to be able to express everything that I have learned and experienced.
All right.
And I don't know how.
You don't know how to do what?
I do know that I'm a channel, I'm a transmedium, but I don't know...
what?
I don't know what to do with it.
What do you mean you don't know what to do with it? I thought you just said you were a channel and a transmedium.
I know, but I don't know how to prepare it to be able to share it with others.
Well, then you will never share it with others if you don't start sharing it with others. Remember what we said about you have to take the step first?
Yes, I know. I learned a lot tonight.
Then please just do it, and you will see where it leads you.
I know.
You will never know where it's going to go if you don't take the first step. So if you're going to be of service to others, then be of service to others. Allow them to participate and take advantage of your gift. Why not?
Thank you. I got it.
What are you afraid will happen? More pain? Thought you said you let that go.
I have self-doubts.
That's pain.
From me.
That's pain. That you're holding on to, that you're generating, that you're creating. Why? You don't deserve that, do you?
No.
Well, then stop.
All right.
Do you understand that there's no such thing as doubt? Doubt is simply a full trust in something you don't prefer.
Yeah.
So why trust things you don't prefer? Why not use your trust for things you do? And by the way, now, please understand, I'm not being judgmental here. I'm not being mean to you.
I know.
But I'm going to use these words because it may just simply drive the point home a little more clearly. By holding your gift back from those that need it, you're being awfully selfish.
I know. I feel like that sometimes.
Well, do you want to be selfish in that negative way?
Not
Then
at all.
don't deprive people of the gifts that you could be giving them that they may need from you. That's very mean. Don't be mean.
All right.
Let go, share, and let the people get out of it what they're going to get out of it. Not everyone will get the same thing. Not everyone may even honor what you have to give. But if you just give it, those that need to get it will get it. Those that don't need to get it won't, but at least the ones that need it will get it. Yes?
Yes.
Does this help?
I get it.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Thank you so much for the knowledge that you bring.
And for allowing us to reflect back to all of you what you already know.
So I have 3 questions.
Oh, all right. Another triad.
Yes. Does the body have the ability to heal regardless of what trauma that has been through? Even after surgeries, trauma, viruses, damage, all kinds of damage to the body, does the physical body really can it heal 100%, really?
Yes. Now, again, you are talking about the idea of quote-unquote circumstances that are relevant to what theme you are exploring. Certain themes you are exploring may not have chosen for the body to be allowed to heal, but in the generalized answer, yes, the body is capable of healing from anything. Anything. But you have to be in the right vibration to allow it to do so. And again, taking advantage of the collective agreement of the ideas in physical reality that you allow yourselves to generally be affected by automatically, you can aid the body in that sense vibrationally in its ability to heal from just about anything by doing certain physical things that are representative of being in alignment with the collective agreement about what health is, such as detoxification. Because if you live in an environment that you actually believe to be toxic, your body is absorbing those toxins. Those toxins lodge in your cells. So no matter what it is you put in your body that might be beneficial, if the cells are blocked from absorbing the nutrients by being full of toxins, then putting all that will not help you. But if you flush your body of the toxins and make room for the nutrients, then when the body has the building blocks it needs to heal itself, it can heal itself from anything. So that's one approach to it. Obviously, there's an energetic approach, all sorts of different approaches. But fundamentally, yes, your body can be in an absolutely natural state of health absolutely all the time, no matter what it has been through. It can always have the ability. It always has the ability to repair. Because again, remember, what are you actually doing? You're not actually changing that body. You're shifting yourself back into a parallel reality wherein the body is, by definition, healthy. So the answer, in a sense, is yes and no. Linearly speaking, in time-space perspective, yes, the body can heal itself from anything. Mechanically speaking, from a physics point of view, the body actually never has to heal itself. You just have to shift your consciousness into a body that's already healthy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but even if you change your consciousness, if something happened to you physically, your consciousness will realign your body and the cells in your body. I mean, what if something already happened physically to you? You can't undo that. Or
I'll say it once again. The body that is injured is one body in one parallel reality. The body that is healthy is another body in another parallel reality.
so we take on new bodies and others?
Yes.
So you're saying I'm going to be a different physical body
When
tomorrow?
I talk about the idea that you are shifting through billions of parallel realities every second, I am saying that everything is different, including your body. Because that's just a projection. It's part of the projection of the parallel reality. I'm not saying your original body is moving through parallel realities. I'm saying your consciousness is shifting into the body that's already in that parallel reality. See the difference?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I mean, it's kind of hard to understand this concept.
It is?
A little bit, yeah. Okay,
well,
so
one moment. Do you drive an automobile?
Yes.
All right. You are the consciousness. The car is your body.
Mm-hmm.
Now you take a trip to another country and you rent a car. Same consciousness, different body. You're in a different reality. What's so hard to understand about that?
We can do that in a lifetime. We can change that.
You are doing it all the time, billions of times a second. You're doing it so fast you don't know you're doing it. That's what we're telling you. Become aware of the fact that you're actually not the same person, literally, physically, from moment to moment, and you will start to understand that the person you are right now can be anything you choose to be, because you can choose what parallel reality to shift to by design and by definition, and you will thus then, by definition, simply be the consciousness looking out of the eyes of the body that's already the version of you that is already in that parallel reality, in the same way that when you go to another country, you're driving a car that's already in that country.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Same idea. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Take me literally. Take me literally. This is actually literally physically happening, because physical reality is just an illusion anyway. Your physical body isn't real. Your experience of it is real, but it's just a projection of your consciousness anyway. Make sense?
Yes.
Does that help you?
Yes. Yes.
And does that help you? And does that help you? And does that help you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Illness, I'm assuming it's chosen before you come into this world, or is it
Not
attracted?
always. Not always. Again, remember, we are now speaking linearly, colloquially, just to have the conversation. Sometimes there are things set up, as you would say, linearly, before this life, that may be the way you feel you need to explore a certain theme. Sometimes you leave it open to how the theme will be explored. And if you find yourself gravitating toward belief systems that by definition would simply automatically attract disease, dis-ease, then you may allow yourself to fall into that experience, just because that's one of the things that might have been the result of simply going down that path. It doesn't necessarily have to be decided beforehand, although the theme of exploration may have been decided, but the expression of that could have been done in any number of ways. So it just depends on what it is you have chosen to explore as to how specific the choice has to be. Sometimes things are planned to the second. Sometimes they're left very general, just as a way of saying, well, it could be this, it could be that. As long as it allows me to explore the theme I wish to explore, it could be a disease, it could be an accident, it could be finding something, it could be any number of different things. It just depends on how you wish to have that experience. Make sense?
Yeah, so in that sense, like, it's not necessarily attracted or not necessarily a response to resistance, it's just you wanted to grow, and that was your opportunity to grow.
It could be that, but you have to be able to tell the difference by exploring what it is you're getting out of it. That will usually tell you why that happened, and whether it was simply a choice of the moment or the result of a resistance or something that you had probably planned, and so on and so forth. But the bottom line is, in any event, no matter what the causation in terms of the original choice, no matter how you brought it to yourself, the bottom line is really, what did you learn by having that experience? Because that's what will allow you to shift to something else. Once you learn the lesson, there's no reason for any condition to stick around. Make sense?
Yeah, so in that sense, it's like, if this was a life theme or it became a life theme, it can totally be changed and resolved once I've learned the lessons that it was supposed to teach me.
Yes.
And the way to let go of it is to stop your belief system that you have to have this in your life and just move forward.
To not resist it, to not devalue it, to not judge that it shouldn't be there, because obviously it is there. So if it's there for some reason. So if you accept that it's there for some reason and learn what it is you need to learn, then it will have done its job and it will go on its way. Nothing sticks around that's already done its job. It's only resistance to it that makes it stick around, because you're refusing to allow it to do its job by saying it has no part in your life, when obviously if it's in your life, it does.
Okay.
Make sense?
It makes sense. And then last question, when you're physically feeling something, I don't know if you have this experience, but when you feel pain or discomfort or fatigue or something, it's in your body. How do you not feel it? I mean, it's just really impossible. I know you may not have a body.
Nothing is impossible, first of all. The idea is, of course, is that on your planet there are many people called yogis and other practitioners and shamans who have developed the ability to allow the idea of pain to be transformed. You understand?
Yeah.
You can do that too if you wish. But again, you must remember at the same time that because many of you have simply agreed to go along with a collective consensus of what physical reality is all about, some things you allow to simply be on automatic. So yes, when you have stubbed your toe, you will usually have some kind of painful sensation because you have agreed on the laws of physical reality, and thus then you simply don't need to take the time to circumvent that. At the same time, if it is of value to your particular exploration and your theme and your life lessons to understand how to transform that sensation into something else, then take some time to explore how the people that are already doing it on your planet do so. It's really mostly a matter of simply shifting your attention or redefining what it is you are experiencing.
Mm-hmm. So you can redefine anything, even the worst thing.
It's just energy. It's just vibrating energy. You can redefine all of it and have a completely different sensation. Have you not yourself seen or heard of demonstrations of what you call hypnosis, where a person is told that their skin is being touched with a lit cigarette and they blister when in fact it was just a person's finger? Have you not also conversely seen where people have been touched with a lit cigarette and not blistered because they were told it was just a person's finger? Have you not understood this idea?
Yeah.
Well, what do you think's happening there?
They
believe the reality they are being told.
Yeah.
Thus, then, that is the response.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
So anything can be transformed as long as the focus, as long as the energy, as long as the perspective says one thing, then whatever is not the vibration of that belief will never have the ability to affect that person.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yes.
Does that help?
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Please remember, this is just simple physics. That's all this is. And more precisely, not only is it just simple physics, it's simple physics. It's not that complicated once you understand the nature of the structure of consciousness and existence. It all makes sense.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I understood you talking about different levels of consciousness when I'm viewing myself as my old me that I am now versus the visualization of me, my ideal of,
yes.
of how myself is.
Yes.
And I can viscerally feel the difference between the two.
All right, good.
But I get stuck mentally for myself.
How exciting.
I find myself more often than not vibrating at that lower self that I don't want to be.
Why are you choosing that?
I don't know.
Well, but that's the question. Because remember, what did we say about habit and pattern? When you say to us, I find myself or I have a tendency to, those phrases simply really mean I'm choosing for my own reasons that idea, that vibration, that reality. So the question to ask is, what would I have to believe is true about my relationship to this thing in order for me to choose that vibration, that idea, that reality? Find out what the definition is you're buying into that makes that seem like the preferable choice. Listen, you all have the same mechanism of motivation. You all are motivated by exactly the same mechanism. You always, and I mean unerringly, absolutely, always, without exception, always Move in the direction of what you believe to be more pleasurable, more positive, and always move away from what you believe to be more painful and more negative. Always. So the question is, if you understand that that mechanism exists, yet you find yourself choosing things, find yourself doing things that are representative of non-preferable, painful things, that should tell you something immediately. What it tells you is, you have somehow attached to the thing that you say ought to be more pleasurable, something that makes it seem less pleasurable than the thing you keep choosing, no matter how painful it is. Find out what that definition is you have attached to the thing you keep choosing that makes it seem like the more pleasurable choice. For example, we often use this analogy. We know that on your planet, your children are often taught very contradictory, very polarized belief systems. Love of money is the root of all evil. If you don't make a lot of money, you're a failure. How do you reconcile those two beliefs? So the idea is you often have beliefs that are at war with each other. So if you realize, one day you wonder, why can't I attract abundance? You suddenly remember, because I was taught that if I love money, I'm an evil person. Well, it's more important to me, more important than money, to not be a bad person. So if I continue to believe that money makes me bad, I will always keep money at bay. Always. Because that's my preference, to not be bad. But if you realize that you've linked that belief to the idea of money, then you can say, oh, wait a minute, that makes no sense. I can have money, I can be totally abundant in many ways, and I know that doesn't mean I have to be a bad person. Once you dissociate, once you unlink those contradictory, polarized beliefs, then you can realize you can make different choices and that they will stick. Because you no longer have an overriding belief that you must choose this over that, because you've attached belief systems to them that are really representative of what you prefer, even though they may be contradictorily attached to opposing beliefs. Do you understand?
Yes.
Does this help you?
Yes.
So find out, when you choose something, first of all, recognize it is always a choice. Like we said, if it's conscious, it's a choice. A habit is unconscious. A pattern is unconscious. If you're aware of it, and you say, well, I recognize that I keep choosing, I recognize I have a tendency to, I recognize that, then you're aware of it. And so it's a choice. Own it. It's a choice. All right, I'm making a choice to choose something I don't prefer. Why would I do that? Then you can start finding out, what would I have to believe is true about this thing, about my relationship to this thing, to keep choosing it when I know I don't really prefer it? What would I have to believe is true about it? Then let yourself communicate with those portions of your consciousness that have the answer. If you be quiet and really investigate it, you'll get an answer, either internally or through synchronicity in your outer reflected reality. You'll get an answer, but you have to ask the question and be open and willing to receive an answer to really understand what the belief is that allows you to believe that's the choice you need to make. Because it's all predicated on definition. It's all predicated on belief. If you don't have a definition, if you don't have a belief, you don't feel any one way about anything, and you don't make any choices about anything at all. So it all comes from belief. It all comes from definition. Find out what it is. Recognize it has nothing to do with what you prefer. Let it go, because you don't want to be a belief thief, and move on. All right?
What if I have trouble?
What if you have what?
Difficulty.
What if you have what? Why would you have trouble? Do you understand that what you're saying right now is a belief?
Yes.
I believe that if I move ahead in this process, my definition of this process automatically labels it as difficult and troublesome. Do you understand? That's a belief. It is not empirically true that the process is difficult. It's not built in. It's not automatic. It's not a given. It's your belief that the process will be difficult. So why believe that? You understand? You have to catch yourself at every phrase and hear yourself spouting beliefs. It's not a given. Many of you say those things as if they're carved in steel. Well, everyone knows this is difficult. No, they don't. Only you think it is. Maybe many other people believe the same thing, but who cares what they believe? What do you prefer to believe?
I prefer to believe that it's simple and easy.
Then when you vibrate in that frequency, you will get the synchronicity that brings you the opportunities that you can act on that will be simple and easy opportunities if you truly believe it can be that simple. But if you don't, it won't. But it's all what you believe. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you believe it?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Thank you. Does that help you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I hope my question is not repetitive.
Would you repeat that?
I hope no. I'm a mother.
Oh, all right.
And I wanted to ask you about the concept of worry.
Worry?
Yeah.
Well, what are you worried about?
My kids.
Why?
Well, I spoke with you before about my son had some mental health problems.
I understand, but what are you worried about?
That it will happen again.
So?
I don't
mean to make light of it, but really, so?
I feel like I'm creating it.
Don't you think the child has a hand in creation as well?
Well, he keeps telling me to stop playing doctor and he's okay.
Then why don't you pay attention?
Okay.
Why not let the child heal you? Because in many ways, the child is behaving more like the parent. Learn that this is a co-creation. Learn that this is an agreement. Learn that this is an orchestration. Pay attention to what the child is saying. Take it to heart, that there is a reason for what is going on in the relationship on all levels, including physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Learn from it together. It's a journey you've decided to take together. It's not a one-sided thing. The weight of the world is not just on your shoulders. So you can let that go and walk down the path hand in hand with the child by also paying attention to when the child becomes the mentor and when the parent needs to be the child for a while, and pay attention to the guidance from the parent. Does that make sense?
The guidance from the parent? That's me.
The guidance from the child that is behaving more like a parent than the parent is. Do you understand?
Okay. I'm going to work on that.
Well, you can either work on it and work up a sweat, or you can simply accept and allow and discover what comes from that allowance, rather than walking down the path constantly worrying that you're on the wrong path, which is not possible. The only way to miss an appointment is by spending time worrying you'll miss the appointment. The only way to not be on your path is by assuming that you're off it. So the idea is that obviously you set this up together, and you just need to pay a little bit more attention that the child knows more than you might think. Now, that doesn't mean you can't guide, but also you must listen and be guided. It's a concert. It's a give and take. It's an agreement. It's a collaboration. All right?
Yes. I'd like to ask you a question about my voice, which we have spoken about before.
Yes.
When am I going to get my voice back?
That depends. When will you have something that you need to say? The idea really for you is multifold in terms of its symbology. And right now, relevant to the issue you have just raised regarding your child, it's really a symbol of you don't really need to say so much. You really need to listen more. You understand? When you listen with the proper degree of balance, you'll get your voice back, but only to the extent that you actually need to say something. This is your own governor, your own self-regulating methodology of making sure that you don't actually say more than you need to say. The more you try to say more than you need to say, the harder it will be to say anything. When you start relaxing into the idea of just listening and trusting and not worrying so much and know that you don't need to say as much as you think you do, your voice will be there for the things that actually need to be said. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right.
But one time you told me that there's other ways to communicate.
There are. And you can learn that as well if you haven't done so already. But the first step in communication is listen to what is actually being said to you. All right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bashar.
Hello, Bashar.
And